We look at the concerns forcing an evacuation of Miami Towers and how an area school district will use COVID-19 relief funds.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A housing complex in Miami is being evacuated due to structural concerns. This is KOAM News at 6. Renovations have been in the works at the Miami Towers, and an engineering survey of the building's structure found big concerns. The city received a report this morning which led to an immediate evacuation order. KOAM's Zach Dodge joins us live from outside the building with the latest.
We're in the back parking lot of the building right now, where you can see a trailer is being loaded and several residents are going in and out trying to get their lives packed up in a day. And as we come around here to the side street, you can see a line of cars doing the same, and it's much the same story up front. That gives you an idea of how hectic it's been for the last several hours after residents found out they'd have to be packed up and moved by tomorrow at noon. It's a stressful situation for many of whom have had to call on their friends and family to be able to get help to get out. The Miami Housing Authority has said they found temporary housing for all of the residents, and they say they're standing by to help people move. And several of the tenants, like we said, are using the help of their friends and family to get the very essentials, what they can fit in a car and sometimes on top of their vehicles, and move to their new temporary homes.
We're having to scramble to get our stuff together. We're having to get essentials right now, and then we're allowed back in 3 or 4 days later to get the rest of our stuff. But right now they're basically just wanting everybody to get out.
Once renovations are complete, residents will have the option of moving back in if they want to, but there's no word yet on how long residents will be displaced. Reporting live in Miami, Oklahoma, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Zach, thanks. Checking in with the weather, and Doug Hetty.
All right, Dow, of course, another hot one for us today. Over the past 4 or 5 days, we've been pretty much at 90 or above. And again, the past couple days into the mid 90s. We have a few clouds which have been streaming through, but in general, just very hot and humid. We are going to have thunderstorms from the Great Lakes back toward Kansas City and then into southwestern parts of Kansas. But these are going to stay north of us tonight, but we will start to see those chances sneaking in by the time we head into tomorrow night. Temps are still hot after 6 o'clock. Most of us are sitting into lower 90s across the region, and we still have heat indices in that 95 to about 100 degree range. So another very warm, kind of muggy, sticky night. We'll drop back through the 90s, 80s, eventually upper 70s later on tonight. Of course, we're going to look at those changes, which are going to move in coming up here in just a bit.
See you then. We've lost 5 more Jasper County residents due to COVID-19. They were 2 women in their 60s and 3 men, one in his 80s, one in his 60s, and one in his 30s. COVID has now killed 182 Jasper County residents, not counting those who lived in Joplin. The Parsons, Kansas School District mask policy takes effect today. It requires all students, staff, and visitors to wear masks indoors and while on school transportation, in classrooms with students present, or indoor gathering spaces, regardless of vaccination status. Masks are not required for people who are outside or alone in classrooms or workspaces. Policy will be reviewed at every regularly scheduled board meeting beginning September 20th. The Neosho, Missouri School District has received more than $1 million as part of the federal aid from the Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief Fund, or ESSER. They say last year the money was used for sanitation and other methods for keeping students and staff safe. They plan to continue that, but intend to focus on 3 main areas.
In our district, we are focusing on taking care of our facilities, making sure that our student success, academic achievement goes up with how we spend these funds, and then also how do we support our teaching staff.
The district says some other goals they have for these funds are to sanitize the schools and to make it easier to practice social distancing. Missouri Governor Parson today announced the state is releasing $30 million in funds to help support the state's healthcare system. The governor's office says the money will help fund extra staffing at private and state-managed hospitals. It'll also go toward the creation of 5 to 8 monoclonal antibody infusion stations throughout the state. The $30 million comes from CARES Act funding. A message tonight from the father of a 1-year-old boy in a Springfield hospital with COVID-19. The baby is on oxygen. His father makes it very clear it's not just adults who can suffer. Carter was born 3 months premature last year. The family spent quite a bit of time in hospitals caring for their little one, and after months of health and progress, the family thought he was done with hospitals. Michael Van Schoik has their story.
There's no smaller feeling than watching someone who can't even speak for themselves go through that and you not be able to help.
Alongside worry and unease, feelings of familiarity consume an Arkansas family tonight. 1-year-old Carter Buttram spent many months needing special care after he was born 3 months early.
I spent 5 months wondering if he was ever going to come home. I thought we were done with the major hospital things, and now here I am a year later wondering if he's ever going to make it home again.
Sentiments of vulnerability exist once again, but this time because of COVID-19. Carter had cold symptoms at daycare late last week, but RSV and COVID tests came back negative. Yesterday, things got worse.
Last night, in the middle of the night, he just could not. It just seemed like he couldn't catch his breath. I mean, he was breathing, but the coughing was intense.
A stop at Cox in Branson then turned into an emergency trip to Cox South. Carter is now requiring oxygen.
He's just exhausted and is doing everything he can. Say he's only 1 year old, and there's only so much a 1-year-old can do that's fully exhausted.
While Carter is with his mom at Cox South, the anxiety still sticks with his father while he can't be at his son's side. His son stays on his mind.
For something that's avoidable, it's not fair to him.
Carter's father says he doesn't want anyone to experience what he's going through. He wants people to know the virus truly can affect anyone.
It happened to my 1-year-old, regardless of whatever you think. You're part of the fabric of the community.
And as a community, he says everyone should do their part, starting with the vaccine.
To just actively choose not to do it is to actively put someone else in danger.
Carter's father says getting vaccinated is not just about you, it's about protecting those who can't protect themselves, especially young children. Still ahead, what an expansion of Lazy Boy Furniture's Neosho plant means for the local job market. And Crowder College looks to expand its regional footprint with a couple of new partnerships. A major Southwest Missouri employer is getting even bigger. A groundbreaking on the Lazy Boy Neosho campus today marks the start of a $30 million expansion of its 550,000 square foot plant. The furniture maker began operations back in 1970, currently employs about 950 workers and intends to hire 100 more. The expansion includes various upgrades and renovations throughout the upholstery plant, a new medical clinic for employees and their families, and a new parts distribution center. Crowder College and Freeman Hospital today made official a partnership that will begin a new certified medical assistant program at Crowder. It's a 16-week paid program and it starts on August 23rd. It combines classroom education and on-the-job training to become a certified medical assistant. Freeman says students will spend 20 hours a week benefiting from a variety of learning opportunities, including traveling to various clinics within the area. Crowder today is also announcing a new partnership with Ozarks Christian College. It allows OCC students to easily transfer between schools using credits and earn certificates from OCC.
And we certainly have prospective students who, in addition to our curriculum, would have interest in some of the offerings of Crowder. And so an agreement like this, where we're simply declaring, hey, we work together well, we'll let those students know that they can explore that educational relationship in greater detail.
OCC is located on North Main Street in Joplin. Later, the Seneca Indians begin a new season under a new head coach.
Plus some rain chances right back in the forecast. We're going to check that out coming up next. Well, of course, it turned out to be another hot one for us today. We've been heating up again since last Friday. Most of last week, the first week of August, felt really good. We were into the mid 80s. Then the 90s reappeared by last Friday, and that's kind of where we've been sitting. And then we've creeped up into the mid 90s over the past 3 days. So we've had temperatures above our average high for this time of the year. It's going to be hot again tomorrow. It's going to stay hot. It's just going to be different levels of hot as we go through the next several days. Still, after 6 p.m., we're 90 to about 92, 93 degrees across the region, still hanging on 95 Chanute and Neodesha at 94 degrees. Then you factor in the humidity, you get the heat indices or the heat index. And we're still getting heat indices 95 to about 100, upwards to 103 in Yates Center. So it's a very hot evening. Of course, if you do have to be outside on these types of days, you kind of don't want to do it from about 2 p.m. until 6 p.m. Those are the hottest times of the day. 92, it is a little breezy. We got those southerly winds at about 10 to 15, dew point at 68, which really isn't that bad. The humidity could be actually higher, but it's still high enough. We're going to drop back through the 90s, through the 80s, eventually into the upper 70s a little bit later on tonight. But heat advisories continue for the entire viewing area once again for us tomorrow, as we will go mid 90s and those heat indices back up well above 100 during the afternoon. We do have a few little cumulus clouds that have been rotating through, but in general it's pretty quiet here. We have thunderstorms really from the Great Lakes, a lot of severe weather really across parts of Wisconsin, then these trail back northern parts of Missouri, and then we'll kind of fire up in north central parts of Kansas as we go through the evening hours right along this little wind shift line. That's a cold front that will actually head toward us over the next couple days. So it will do a couple things. It will up our chances for rain, but also cool us down just a little bit by the time we head into the weekend. All right, let's go through time. Let's go through the evening hours. You can see those thunderstorms to the north. They really don't make it here. They just kind of fall apart, so a pretty quiet night, warm and humid, upper 70s. Let's go into Thursday. Heating up again. Here's the noon hour. By the afternoon, very similar to what we have seen the past couple days, back into the mid 90s. We'll start at 77. 91 by noon, high temp right around 96. Some isolated thunderstorms late in the day in our northern counties, and these will kind of explode and then head toward us tomorrow night. So if you live north of Interstate 44, you have at least a decent shot to get some scattered thunderstorms tomorrow night into Friday morning. And then by Friday afternoon, we'll get additional thunderstorms again, but these are mainly going to be in our southern counties, so along and south of Interstate 44. So hit and miss storms, but at least we have those chances for rain because we could use a little bit. It's kind of dried out over the past couple weeks. All right, heat indices again tomorrow. About 105 upwards to 110, a little bit better on Friday, but still near 100 degrees by the time we head into Friday afternoon. Actual temperatures, 96 tomorrow, so another alert day, 94 on Friday. A little bit cooler, upper 80s on Saturday. Then we kind of hang out near 90, which is still hot, just not quite as hot as what we've seen the past couple days.
I hope those hit and miss storms are more hit than miss.
Yeah, that'd be nice. We could use it.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up in sports, the Seneca Indians prepare for the football season under a first-year head coach and a position switch for one of the best players on Pitt State's defense. Jacob Leonard has those stories next.
Well, a new era of Seneca High School football begins this week. The Indians are in the middle of their first week of practice in their first season under head coach Cody Hilburn. Hilburn is a Seneca High School graduate. He comes over from Carthage, where he served as offensive coordinator under head coach John Guidey. Right now, Hilburn says he's just looking for improvement every day in practice and learning about the guys on his new team.
As a high school football coach, you don't get to recruit kids, so you kind of got to develop your game plan around the personnel you have. And luckily, we got some unique kids at some different spots, and that kind of makes it easy. We have a good senior class. Some returning starters coming back that are good kids, good leaders, are doing a great job leading our program.
Seneca opens the season on August 27th at home against Marshfield. Caden Roy is entering his final season with Pitt State football. The Webb City High School product opted to return to PSU for one final season after the COVID year in 2020. Now, while he's back and in the same number, Roy has switched positions on the defensive side, going from linebacker to defensive end. Here's his head coach Brian Wright on the switch and why the move is working for one of the leaders on his defense.
Just that leadership and that physicality and toughness, and he's just a good football player, and you need a really good football player to set the edge of the defense, and he does a great job of that, and he's built that way. He has great size and strength for that position, so I think it's been a great fit for us.
The Kansas City Royals have split the first two games of their series with the New York Yankees this week. Now, the Royals got game 2 last night 8-4. Today, Kansas City tries to take the series from New York in front of the team's part owner Patrick Mahomes. First inning, Luke Voigt with the bases loaded, going the other way, brings in 2. The Yankees go in front early. And next batter, Rugnet Odor adds to it, singles to score another. Royals down 3-0 after the first. It really didn't get much better the rest of the way. In the fourth, Aaron Judge up the middle. RBI single pushes the Yankees lead to 5-1. Royals not able to get in front. In the fifth here, Whit Merrifield finds the gap. But Tyler Wade gets the diving grab. Yankees take the game and the series today 5-2. In the National League, Game 2 between the Cardinals and Pirates tonight. St. Louis won Game 1 last night 4-1 for their third win in 4 tries. Tonight's game is just getting started with no score in the first. Finally, one of the best to do it for Pittsburgh State is coming back to John Lance Arena. Former Gorilla Michaela Burgess will serve as an assistant coach this season for head coach Amanda David and the PSU women's basketball team. Burgess played for Pitt State from 2015 to 2018, helping the team make 3 trips to the NCAA Division II National Tournament. She finished her playing career with more than 1,800 points. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after the break.
Take time now to honor a local veteran specialist, Dennis Tyndall. The Joplin native served in the U.S. Army, and we are proud to salute Specialist Dennis Tyndall. He's tonight's 4-state hero. Jordan Abbey joins us now with a look at what's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Tonight at 9, going to have more on several tenants ordered out of their homes in Miami because of structural safety concerns. Also, new numbers from the Labor Department show trips to the grocery store and gas station are hitting wallets harder than before. And going to introduce you to a new dish, an apple pie hot dog. It's all combined together into one piece of food that's amazing. Trust me, I might be wrong. That, of course, much more coming your way tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Amazing is not what it sounds like, but it's certainly patriotic. Apple pie hot dog.
I like apple pie. I like hot dogs. I just don't know if I like them together.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so, but you never know. Hey, the weather, it's hot and going to stay that way.
It is. Another hot one tomorrow, back into the mid-90s for highs. Heat indices about 105 again tomorrow afternoon. Some scattered thunderstorms tomorrow night, and then kind of hit and miss on Friday and Saturday. Plus, our temperatures cool down just a little bit toward the weekend.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.